Even this whole idea of like a logos, right? This is an idea that goes back to Heraclitus. I think, the Gospel of John is highly influenced by, Middle Platonism. You have this idea of the one who emanates from his own being, the second level of being, who's also a deity, but not as great as the main deity who is the one. I mean, you find this in, the prologue of John's Gospel. No one has at any time seen God, right? Because he's the one. He's the transcendent, perfect level of being. But the only begotten God, and that's the more authentic reading, by the way, not only begotten Son, the only begotten God who is in the bosom of the Father, that one makes him known.
And so you have Justin Martyr in the 2nd century, the famous church father, then talking about there being two gods, Jesus being the lesser God. There's God and lesser God, openly polytheistic, to try. And he was a Greek philosopher, of course, himself, before he became a Christian. So he's openly using this language, of polytheistic language. Yeah,
this whole idea of reading Trinitarianism into the four Gospels is totally anachronistic. Saying that, here he's talking about perichoresis, over here he's talking about homoousios, No, these terms are not biblical. They're completely anachronistic. The early church fathers, they're, like you said, they're highly influenced by Middle Platonism. Justin Martyr, as you said, refers to the Son as allos theos, another God, right? Origen of Alexandria refers to the Son as deuteros theos, a second God, right? And this is very clear. And this, I think, so with my and we can talk probably about this in another section or in the next section or something like that. But I have sort of a unique sort of take on the Christology or the theology of the four Gospels, especially John. I don't agree that John was a Unitarian. I don't believe that he was a Trinitarian. I believe that he was a henotheistic, tritheistic believer. So in other words, or at least there are two gods. I believe that he believes that the Father is the one, the Most High God, and that Jesus is, he calls him the Logos. Again, this is a pre-Christian term that is what the Middle Platonist, Middle Platonic philosophers, even Philo, refer to the second level of being, where God emanates from his own essence, this lesser deity, and that's exactly what John calls Jesus. And Jesus says in the Gospel of John, I ascended to my Father and your Father, my God and your God. Jesus has a God.
And John 17 famously, this is eternal life, that they may, know you, the only true God, and Jesus, whom you sent. So a separation, because the understanding of divinity or deity in the ancient world for everyone, Hellenistic Jews and pagans, was much more elastic and more liberally thrown around. So you could use divine language of human beings or angels or lesser deities, but still believe in the one high God. So to use this divine language of a prophet would not be surprising, really, to many people. I mean, Plato was called a god or divine being. The emperor was a god. There were gods aplenty, and demigods and semi-gods and so on. So that makes sense what you're saying. It wouldn't be that surprising if John did have that kind of complexity to it. It would fit in with that culture and that theology.